Uncle Brewster.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
You won and I died.
I feel a yeah. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
How's it hanging, Phil?
Stop the front time!
Come and get it. So either put the gun down now or kiss your ass goodbye.
Let's get this party started.
I agree, Dana. Let's get this party started. So, welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror. So, we are super excited today, you guys, because we have the cast, the crew, the brains behind Morgan Killer Doll. We're going to start at the top and rotate our way snake-wise down. Scott, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Ken. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to do some promo for the movie.
Oh, we are so excited to talk about the film. Then we also have, I don't know if you guys have ever seen her before. Kylie, is it? We have Kylie here tonight. How you doing, love?
Oh my God, to be so transparent, I had a little too much fun at the premiere last night and I've been hungover all day, but I'm feeling better now.
Ooh, yeah.
Just seeing
That's the way
your
we like
faces
it.
lights me up.
We also have director Jose. Jose, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having us, Ken and Ashley. I'm a big fan of the channel. We have not connected yet officially on your channel, but we've done something years ago. So I'm honored to be here, and thank you so much for helping us get the word out.
Absolutely. We're so honored to have you here. Then we have the amazing Theo. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Like I said, you guys are all taking your time out to come hang out with us. It really is an honor. Shelby, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. Thank you for having us. I'm like blinded by my bangs. I need to be but other than that, I'm great.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Adam, how you doing tonight?
Good, guys. I love your intro, man. Like all the clips are friggin' fantastic. Yeah. Awesome.
That's all her, man.
It was not.
It's all her.
No.
And then we have the beautiful Bix. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Feeling great.
That's what we love to hear. We're going to talk about the premiere. We're going to talk about all that. But before we do that, I do want to catch up on the chat real quick. Sean is a new member. Thank you, Sean. We appreciate it so much.
Thanks, Sean.
Don't forget to smash that like button, everybody, please. Russell with a $5 super chat. When can we expect this movie out? Well, it's funny because I have the link for Amazon Prime right down in the description. So when this interview is done, click that link, go and watch the film. You guys are not going to regret it. Ash and I had a blast with it. Our full review will be out Friday. So we can't wait for you guys to see that. We really honestly had a blast. And for the new people here, whenever we get a donation at Sledgehammer Horror, we like to play a clip. And our first donation is always the same clip.
Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby.
Thank you, Russell.
Chimichangas, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Everybody's in here talking to each other. I love it. If you guys have any questions for any of the cast or crew, please let us know. Yes, our haunted hippie is in a movie, and we couldn't be any more proud. It was for those that Ashley and I do like to think of ourselves as the parents of the horror community. And it was like watching our child do their first film, and it was amazing. So, this time we're going to start backwards. We're going to start with Bix. You want to go ahead and ask? Do you want
Yeah.
take over?
So, Bix, you want to tell everybody how you got involved in the project?
Yes, we could take it way back. I worked on a film with Jose a couple years ago, and since then he kind of came to me with this idea for Killer Doll, because I came to a premiere of a movie covered in doll heads in a very extreme look.
He's like, she's the one.
Yeah, from there it's history.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Just to piggyback off of that, we did a film called Monster Mash. Adam is in it as well. Universal Monsters meets the Avengers. That was the idea. And Bix was our, gypsy fortune teller kind of person. And I loved working with her. She comes to the premiere in a dress with dolls on it. This story's been in my head for 2 years. And so I'm in my mind, like, I'm looking for that girl. And at the time, honestly, Darcy didn't have a name. But I was like, I'm looking for my doll girl, and once she came to the premiere like that, I'm like, okay, that's it. It's Kismet. It's meant to be. So that's really where it all began. She's
awesome.
The first person cast.
That's awesome.
I love that.
So what about you, Adam? How'd you get involved?
Jose was awesome enough to make me the mummy in Monster Mash, and having had to sit through 2.5 hours of prosthetics every day, I think he was just being nice and letting me do a role where I didn't have to cover my face, which very grateful.
Yeah,
absolutely. Jose, now we know obviously this is kind of your brainchild. But what was your true inspiration for the whole? I know that you got, seeing Bix kind of really set it off for you, but what was your initial inspiration for Morgan Killer Doll?
Well, I know you guys are big Scream fans. A variation of this story was a pitch that at the time I had a manager. This is before Scream. I'm calling it Scream 5. I'm not calling it Scream 20, whatever the hell.
5 Cream, baby.
5 Cream. So this is before 5 Cream was a thing, and there was talk of maybe revitalizing the thing. And there's a version of this movie that was a Scream movie. And then I also I morphed that into a killer doll story because I grew up on stuff like Chucky and my parents gave me no limits, so I would watch anything and you embrace the darkness and it becomes your friend. So as a horror fan, you wanna try and find a new way to tell the story that people think they've seen. And I love to mix things together, so it's not exactly what you think it's gonna be. And this sort of became the perfect ingredient. And luckily, the Asylum was willing to take a chance on letting me tell this story, even though in their minds they're linking it to Megan. Our movie is so different. I don't want to go into spoilers, but it's such a different movie, and I'm glad that we were able to tell a original story.
Yeah, absolutely. So Theo, how about you? How do you get involved? Like, how do you get into character?
Yeah, so my character's name is Brad. I first of all I thought of, well, what is a Brad character in every other horror movie? That you think of, like asshole boyfriend character. I think Jose and I talked about it, and we wanted to make sure that this character wasn't, entirely just a stereotype. So I was trying to, you come at it for these kind of douchier, like, mean characters. You want to come at it as a what makes this person do this, or like, this person still thinks they're a good person and has maybe made some mistakes. So that's kind of the angle that I got out of here.
We know what they say, Brad gets what Brad wants. So that's word on the street. Nothing's confirmed, but from what I've heard, he wants that honey. True. That's all I'm saying.
He may or may not get it. No spoilers.
So Shelby, can you tell us a little bit about your character and how you get into character?
Yeah, Astrid is, I feel so like attached to her. I think Astrid is such a, like, in this movie, I feel like you're really seeing her almost finding herself, and she's obviously going through all of these traumatic life events, but there's this innocence to Astrid that really spoke to me. She's tricky because she's very caring about her friends, but she's dealing with her current friends and her boyfriend not understanding why she would be friends with Darcy and someone like her. And I think just she is this epitome of like balancing these different lives. But I don't know. I mean, I had such incredible scene partners for this, and I had such a great time researching her and figuring out her little ticks and her little quirks. No.
Yeah.
She's one of those characters that you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I like her. And then you're like, bitch. So it was nice how you were able to, pull from both sides of that. And I think that that's one thing about a lot of the characters throughout this movie is some of them don't have much redeeming qualities, but most of them, we knew them in high school. We knew these characters in high school. So it's easy to put a little bit of empathy towards some of them, even if they're being shitheads or, like you really do have a feeling of heartbreak at certain moments for certain characters. I know that we're sounding extremely vague right now, guys, but we really want to make this as spoiler free as possible.
Just go check it out for yourself, and then you will understand.
Well, Jose was saying earlier that this will be, just because of the title alone, it'll get lumped into a Megan type thing. This is so polar opposites of Megan, and this is nothing. You guys know we're huge fans of Megan.
Yeah.
But this is polar opposites of what that movie achieved and what that movie was going for. That you cannot write this into that type of corner.
Yeah. So Kylie, how was your experience on set?
Oh, my experience was great. I loved playing Fiona because I actually think that Jose and I might disagree a little bit. Won't get into like what goes on, but Jose would ask me, why do you think she does what she does? And in my opinion, I think she's a little insecure. I feel like she's kind of like if Wednesday Addams was kind of a loser. That's kind of how, but I love Fiona. So yeah, I mean, it was my first time, like, I won't say acting on a proper set. I've done creature acting work and stuff, but having dialogue, it was anxiety inducing, but you've met all these incredible people. Like I was in such good hands. So like after, the first take or whatever, I was like, oh, I'm good. These guys, they got me. So.
And it's one of those things where I love that you played a character that wasn't you.
Yeah.
I'm watching and I'm like, hey, young lady, you be nice.
I'm like, I love you. Like I do, but your character, I don't know.
You're pissing me off here. Okay.
Let me just chime in real quick about Kylie's performance because, I was a fan of her YouTube channel and that's sort of how we connected. And I invited her to the premiere actually of Monster Mash and she didn't know Bix at the time. So they had crossed paths without knowing. But anyway, I said, hey, I wrote this character and she's kind of exactly your YouTube personality. She's, essentially the Antichrist with friends. So let's, would you audition for it? And I was blown away by how natural she was. I'm very picky with my actors. And I hope that comes across when you see the movie, that the performances are great because they are great. And I'm looking for that. And I was so impressed by how genuine she was, and it was her, with no real training, right, Kylie? I don't think you took any.
No,
I was blown away.
I did like theater for a couple years in elementary school.
It shows.
She's just a natural.
It shows. We were watching, and I was like, that theater training's really paying off.
It is, yeah.
I could totally see her as a tree in the background of Wizard of Oz right now.
A tree.
It totally works.
Those were my humble beginnings. Yeah.
So. It's an inside joke. Our son, Ashley, told him, like, if you go out for the play.
He's like a sports kid. And I was like, just try to figure yourself out. Okay. And so he went out for the play.
She was like, I will give you $100 if you go out for the play and get a part. And he got the part of a tree in the background.
He was a damn tree. Like, he threw an apple.
He threw an apple.
That was all he did. And I was like, I feel like I just got
totally hosed. I was like, don't do that ever again. So Scott, what we talked a little bit about, everybody else's experience and everybody else getting into character. So with stuff like this, when you're working with such a low budget film, which relies heavily on practical effects, what were days like that on set for you like?
I kind of got a light load. I just got to sit back and have fun and just kind of see the movie magic. I definitely learned a lot, kind of following the behind the scenes stuff and seeing how the cookie gets baked, and so it was a very educational experience for me. And so I really enjoyed absorbing all of the lessons that come up from being on that really passionate environment.
Yeah.
Well, something Ashley and I've talked about a lot is when you're watching indie film, especially, we feel like the passion is so much heavier.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing this for a paycheck. You're not doing this for superstardom. You're doing this because you love the project you're working on. You love the people you're working with. And a lot of times you get cast in a role, but you also put other feathers in the cap, helping out behind the scenes, doing stuff on set, and the love of indie movies. And that's why Ash and I love to talk about this.
Yeah,
So,
well, and you can always tell, like, when people are having fun on set, like, it just shows in their performances and, like, when they are really taken care of on set. So.
yes. John says, a big surprise today. I bought and watched the movie last night. Review
nice.
coming on Letterboxd. Hell yeah. There's nothing more creepy than a killer doll. The scene at the end with the doll run. Yes. Yes. So I think this is for Jose. Was the process difficult to get the script together?
No, mainly because I'd been thinking about it for such a long time, and usually an idea will come into my head like, oh, I've never seen that before, and then I kind of let it, marinate in my brain juice for a little bit, and then when it's ready, it'll tell me it's ready, and then the pitch came, and they said yes, and so it was pretty easy to get that first draft out. I think I wrote it in 4 or 5 days, the first draft, because it was it was like you're watching the movie. And when you have that beautiful connection with something, you just kind of let it tell itself. You sit back and, oh, wow. And it's my favorite feeling. So no, writing it was very easy. The hardest part was really to find a cast to match what I was seeing in my head. I had Bix already as my anchor, but you had to fit pieces around it to make it all work. And luckily, in my opinion, it worked out.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Stewie. Any questions, guys, please feel free to ask as long as it's spoiler free. The Mojo bag she was running around her neck was a good tell for what may be coming. That does have some, little bits here and there. What's up, everyone? What's up, Crazy? I paused How to Train Your Dragon to watch the stream and both mentioned the name Astrid. Very beautiful name. How do you keep motivated when writing a script?
It's different when you're writing something for yourself and you're like, oh, I've got a great idea. Maybe I can sell it. Is anybody else hearing that crackling? Is that
Is that Shelby? I don't know.
I think so. I thought it was just me. I didn't know.
Oh. I thought your phone was like sliding or something. I was like,
oh.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Anyway, it really depends. If it's a job and you've been hired, like Killer Doll was, again, I had this story, so it's different. But for example, Monster Mash was a for hire job, and it was like that was difficult because there were a lot of things I had to work around to make sense and still deliver a movie that I wanted to see, because that's the goal when you write a movie. You want to be able to say, I want to see that. So the only way to keep motivated is just believe in the characters, believe what you're doing is at least worthwhile to yourself, and hopefully will entertain people. I mean, that's ultimately what happened last night at the premiere. That is really the end goal. That to me is why we do it, to show it to people and hopefully people enjoy it. That's what I always see as the end of the line. So that's how I stay motivated. Hopefully make something that's gonna entertain people and not change their lives necessarily, but at least make them happy for a little bit. While the rest of the world can fall apart, but they can have fun for a little bit with us.
Right. Theo plays Brad. And Brad waits for no one. So
Brad waits for no one.
Brad waits.
Remember that. He waits for no one. Definitely a honey fan. Something we also wanted to share with you guys, for those that don't know anything about it, we do have the trailer for Morgan Killer Doll, you guys. So we are going to play that for you right now. So here is the trailer for Morgan Killer Doll.
I'm ready. I'm ready to tell Astrid.
What you got there?
It's your birthday present. Oh, can't wait to see what's inside.
Oh my God.
Why would she give you this?
Mercy, you'll miss me when I'm gone. Are you soaked in gasoline? Dad, we need to get in the car and have to go now. Darcy! She couldn't have gone far. I mean, she was on...
It is horrible what happened. We just want you to know that we're here for you. If you ever need to talk, here's where you can find me.
She gave me a life-size rag doll.
Wow.
You're scaring me.
We know very little about the world that we live in. And the world around us is terrifying.
Astrid?
Where the hell is everyone?
Fiona, where are you? Tell me.
I'm gonna get help.
So that is the official trailer, guys, from Morgan Killer Doll, and I'm still getting a really bad crackle. I don't know what that is.
Mute your mics if you're not speaking. I think it might be someone.
All right. Everybody's muted except us. Okay. I am not hearing it right now. I am so sorry about this, everybody. I don't know which one it is. It happens, man. These are the things when you're going live you can't control. So, love supporting independent films, especially horror independent. My only issue is hard to find screenings like The Ritual. It's not showing anywhere near me, and that's very fair. This question is for Haunted Hippie. What made you want to be in a Killer Doll movie? Congrats to the whole cast. Can't wait to see this. So, what was your drive to be in a film like this, Kylie?
Well, Jose kind of scooped me up and just presented me with the character, and I would have played Fiona no matter what kind of movie she was in. But yeah, we just were talking about having a love for independent cinema. I'm an independent, writer, director, producer. Plenty of people in the chat actually have donated to my short films. So just, yeah, any excuse to get on like just getting on bigger sets and learning more, and I'll jump at any opportunity like that. So yeah, it's not so much about being in a Killer Doll movie in particular, but am I stoked that my first movie was a Killer Doll movie? Certainly.
Right.
Certainly.
Yeah. And this is a huge compliment, and I'm not even a part of the film. That doll is scarier than the clown doll in Poltergeist. Like that's huge right there. And again, if there is not a screening near you, I do want to remind everybody we have the link for the film down in the description. So make sure that after this is over, you're checking out the film. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. So I know that we're on kind of a time crunch. There it is. It's on VOD now, Amazon Prime, and Fandango. So we're going to go backwards this time. We're going to go around the world backwards. We're going to start with you, Scott. Kind of final words about the film. What can people expect out of the film? What are the expectations that you set for people that are going to be checking this film out?
I think you do really get like a love letter to this kind of indie feeling horror. It's like kind of funny. I laughed so much in the theater last night, and of course part of it is because all of my castmates have become such good friends of mine, and I'm like, haha, that's Kylie. But it's a blast. It's bloody, it's scary, it's thrilling, it's everything you could want.
And especially when you have that feeling of being in the premiere, you're with your friends, your family, the cast, and you get to watch all these amazing people on screen that you've gotten to work with.
You helped put out. Like it's like a pride, I'm sure, for all of you.
Right.
Yeah.
So Kylie, how about you? What is your expectation for people when they get to see the film?
I have been describing it to my castmates because some of them have asked me, they're like, well, you review movies, like, what did you think of it? Like before, we went into the premiere. And I was saying, this is a movie that I would stumble across on Tubi, and I would go, sure, what the hell? And be surprised at just how endearing it is. I think like we just got really lucky, and we got a really amazing, rare mixture of people that no matter what we were working with, I feel like you can feel the magic there. Yeah, but also it is hard to separate yourself, like Scott was saying, because I'm literally just like, it's my friends, they're doing so good. But I think you're gonna have fun. I think you'll have fun with it.
Right. And that's the big thing too, is like your expectations and what I think you expect, even us, like as you're watching the film, you're expecting it to go a certain direction, and it definitely, you know, makes that hard left turn when you get to a certain point. So that was surprising for us, you know, and when you can do that, we can appreciate that very much. You
like
can,
a good twist.
Yes.
Twisty twist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun, even though it is sad to watch a young lady get burned. So Shelby, when it comes to being, you know, you're the lead essentially in this movie. When you are watching this back and you're seeing your performance in this movie, is there anything that you watch from this movie that you are going to take with you to a next future role?
Oh my god, yeah. I think I know. I feel like we all probably feel this way. Like watching yourself is always a weird experience. You just kind of go, I sound like that. I look like that. Why did I do that? But I've learned to really just relax and take it for what it is. And this was a really, really fun project to work on, and I met so many incredible people. But 100%, I think this was a really like emotionally exhausting role, which I loved doing, and I think a lot of what came through with that are certainly things that I'll be taking with me onto future things.
That's good.
That's awesome, because if you can, every set should be a learning experience. So as long as you could take that and take it to the next set that you're on, you know, and improve always, I think that's very important.
Yeah, I think it is hard to watch yourself back. You're just like, and I'm the same way. Like I don't know. I get
when you're always your own worst critic.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so when you watch back, and you're always going to be harder on yourself than other people are on you, because you always set an impossible expectation on yourself.
So Theo, this question's for you. What was your favorite part about filming?
Oh man, I think I just love the indie film vibe of it constantly changing. You're constantly like, oh my God, we have no time to do things. Right. So everything feels very natural and fresh. One of my favorite parts, I don't think this is a spoiler, this is at the beginning. There's a part at the beginning where I sort of greet the group of friends, and Jose and I probably spent like, I don't know, 45 minutes trying different ways.
We wasted too much time on that.
Yeah, there's probably like 12 deleted takes for that scene where I do different animal noises. So yeah, look out for that. See if you can identify what animal made the cut. But yeah,
I'm intrigued now.
Yeah.
I want to see
Can we
these
have
deleted
behind the
scenes.
scenes?
Yeah. Can we please see? I just want a B-roll of Theo's animal noises. Like that's all I want.
It wasn't just animals, by the way.
It wasn't just animals. I'm not kidding. I've been promised a physical release. They don't normally do physical releases, but they told me we're going to get one. That will be on the physical release. I'm going to do a supercut of all his crawling moments. Let's call it that.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I can't wait for you guys to all see this as well. Because I'm telling you guys, going into the film, we were like, yes, we're going to watch it because someone that we love and we care very deeply about is in it. We walked away from it.
Yeah, we were
so
entertained
excited.
and
we had a blast with it. And like I said, there's certain moments throughout the film where you're like, oh, I went to high school with a guy like that, or a girl like that broke my heart. That old so-and-so. So like when you can relate to something like that, it definitely helps as well. So Jose, when it comes to being a writer and director, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. When you're writing a project, it's kind of like when you're writing music, you know, as a guitar player, you're writing the guitar, the drums are going in your head, the piano's going in your head, vocal melodies are going in your head. When you are a writer director, do you find it's a little bit easier to direct with something you've written, or is it sometimes easier to grab something fresh out of the box that you didn't write and just put your hand in the direction of it?
The only time I've ever done something that wasn't mine was something that I worked with Scott and Shelby on, and another one of our castmates who's not here, Sarah Kamine, who plays Kayo, was a found footage movie called Heretics that had no script, and it was all improv, and we shot it in 4 days. And it was a directing challenge and an acting challenge, but I think the movie came out fantastic. And walking away from that, I'm like, I gotta make something else with Scott and Shelby. And when I saw Shelby, I'm like, she looks so much like Bix. And then it connected. I'm like, ooh, I think I found Astrid. So I credit that movie, for connecting me and making this movie really happen. And, stars aligning or whatever. But no, I really only like working on my own stuff because you feel married to it, you feel connected to it. It's when it's somebody else's, I can never wrap my head around it because I didn't dream it up, I guess is the best way.
Yeah.
This didn't come from my, I don't know, it sounds stupid. It didn't come from my soul. This just came from a piece of paper. These characters were alive to me. And I tell these actors, you are the movie. No one's gonna know what happens. I'm the first audience. No one's gonna know anything about the behind the scenes. It's what happens on screen. And I want you to feel like human beings. And I'm glad that you guys, saw people you knew in these characters. That's the point. You have to see relatability. You have to see humanity there, not people just saying lines. Again, I default to Scream as a perfect example. Characters that are, sometimes douchebags, but they're so likable, and you just fall in love with them because you just want to be around them. And I loved these characters so much, and I wanted to bring that to the screen. And also, if I've written it, then I feel I have the freedom to change things on set, which they know I'll add things, as Theo has evidenced by his the crawling sequences, which will be on the physical release. I feel like I have that freedom. You know what? Don't say that because it doesn't feel right. Say it like this, or let's change the line to that. Or if an actor says, I think maybe I should go about it this way, and then I'll think about it, and if it feels right at the moment, then we'll go for it. And having that freedom really allows the movie, in my opinion, to feel organic. And that's so crucial when you're making a movie like this. If you don't care about the characters, then it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter how many bloody kills there are or whatever. People are going to check out. Ultimately, the movie was written for people like you, Ken, Ashley, people like horror fans who've seen everything. I wanted to give them something they think they've seen, but not exactly.
And that's the perfect way to explain it. You think you've seen this movie 100 times and you watch it and you're like, yes, I am very excited at the end of this movie for how this ended. And it's something that, you don't get that a lot anymore with mainstream film. Indie film has that ability to throw that curveball at you and make you go, yes, thank you. They took the chance that a studio wouldn't take a chance on. So that's one thing that I love about this movie is you took the chance that a major studio would have been like, let's play it a little safer than that. Let's bring it back just a little bit. You guys didn't do that, and I love it. So we talked about the highs of the film. Adam, what were some of the hardest parts of filming for you?
Fake blood's real sticky. I don't know if you knew that. It's like real sticky. So spending copious amounts of time in that is difficult.
Not that he has any fake blood on him.
No. I'm just saying that, like,
during the cleanup.
Right.
During the cleanup.
He was helping clean up.
I helped clean up. I actually wasn't an actor in the movie. I was the one with the blood making.
No,
there's some. We've said this already several times. Jose operates on zero budget, zero time. And, it's everything's got to go. You get 2 takes and we're moving on. Unless you're Theo and then you get like 16 takes to be various farm animals. But otherwise, like, you're going 100 miles an hour. And that can be really stressful, but you never feel that way on this set, which is a testament, I think, to Jose. Like, you're putting in major hours. You're putting in, major amounts of energy. But the whole time you're enjoying yourself. You're working with a great community of people, which is not easy to find in Los Angeles. So I think the hardest thing was the schedule and the time, but it didn't feel hard.
Cool.
Nice.
And another thing about that, why the big pause? I was born with them. There's so many different things about,
I knew you were going to steal that. I'm so sorry.
Listen, I've been married to my high school sweetheart for 20 years. I have 3 kids. Dad jokes, I take them, I put them in my back pocket, and I save them for later. So that's what I do.
As you should.
It's my party favorite.
I was like, I know you're going to use this. I knew it. I knew you were.
Don't forget to check out our review this upcoming Friday.
Bix, for you, so you kind of have like a roller coaster of emotions, like, you know, highs and lows. How was it for you to transition between all these different emotions?
This is gonna be spoiler free.
Spoiler
Like,
free.
we know that
Yeah.
you have a lot of different ups and downs throughout your character arc.
Yeah, so my spoiler-free answer is honestly, shockingly, it wasn't that difficult. I don't know. I am very comfortable playing those darker, more internal outcast characters. I'm just very naturally drawn that way. So it was really easy for me to tap into all of Darcy and all of the facets of Darcy. I felt really connected to her, and being able to do the mental work and the mental gymnastics of how she makes the choices she makes throughout the film, and how she goes about that roller coaster and trying to figure out how to make that really human and really real and grounded. I think that that's what helped me really just submit to her and let her take me on that roller coaster.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a love tragedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, this is a horror film. It is, but the best horror films are something that make you feel. You know, and I think that that's why this movie was so awesome. Is you have everybody has felt that type of way. I'm not me. I'm perfect, and I met my wife in high school. But a lot of people have been heartbroken before, and tried to be with someone that didn't want to be with them. And even as a you're watching, you feel. I can say this because you see it in the trailer. Like the gasoline scene. When she's standing on the front porch with gasoline on her, there's a certain line that's delivered. And even in the scene before that, which I don't want to get into because that's kind of a crux to what happens. But when she delivers the line, you're like, you motherfucker, and it's like, we all knew mean boys, mean girls. And sometimes what we say, the outlying effect could be something that drastic to somebody else. And the way that you played those emotions on the porch, and even you, Shelby, with the fear for not just her, but yourself in that moment really comes out in the film, because yes, you're afraid of what could happen to, your little gumdrop that's been your best friend since, elementary school, but also what could the effect have on you should she go through this right here, right now? There's this fear of the unknown with that as well. So, man, we're going to catch up on the chat real quick. And I just want to say one more time, you guys absolutely killed it. Did I love all your characters? No. A lot of your characters pissed me off very much.
Feel like that,
but that's a testament to how good you guys are as actors and actresses to be able to go in and perform these characters so well. I feel like the biggest compliment is if you leave a movie and you're like, I fucking hated that guy.
Yeah, and
that
you're
actor,
supposed to.
that actor's like, you know what? You're damn right you did, because I'm the shit. Yeah. That's why you hated me. So Trell Warren says, looks dope. I'm ready. I promise you are. What's up, David?
David.
Kylie is spreading her wings acting. Yes, we're very excited for her. This movie looks like a lot of fun. How can they follow? We'll go at the end before we let everybody go. We're going to go through so they can say where you can follow them on social media. The cast Thursday made me really watch closely. The music fades, the quiet dialogue. Yes. And for those that don't know, a score by frickin' Harry Manfredini. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him.
Amazing.
But hey, I'm sorry you're not feeling good, Josh. I hope you feel better. Dad jokes I got all day.
We don't want to hear them today. Take a break.
Yes, I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Like, I will be that first shipment. You can guarantee Sledgehammer Horror will be on that shipment. We can't wait. So let's go through real quick and have everybody tell us where they could find you on social media. What were you going to say, Jose?
Just real quick, I was going to, because you mentioned Harry, he was actually texting me right now. And he says, the more I think about last night, the more I'm loving our movie. Harry is an incredible human being, and the fact that he gives me the time of day means the world to me. As a horror fan, the fact that I could go to the dude who made Jason, iconic, because without that music, who knows where he would be.
Right.
The fact that he would give me the time of day to give me music on my film means the world to me. So yes, I wanted to make sure that Harry got a shout out. So I'm glad you did that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
amazing.
And the fact that, like I said, that's something that I think everybody, especially in this panel and watching, like even Sledgehammer Horror, like we got to interview Victor Miller, the creator of the original Friday the 13th. And the whole time I was literally like shaking, I was like, I'm fine, like, so the fact that, you guys still get excited about this type of thing too. And, you're in a film now that Harry Manfredini did the score on. And when you do things like that, you're in this universe forever, like this is something that nobody can ever come and take away from you. And that's special. That's a very fucking special thing. This guy that is an icon in horror has scored your movie. Like that alone, he's not going to come and do this if it's a piece of shit.
Right.
The guy's not starving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he saw something that spoke to him. He wanted to be a part of it. That's one of the biggest compliments in the world. And that's something you guys can always take with you as well. So, Bix, can you tell us where we can find you on social media?
Hello. Yes, you can find me on Instagram at BixKriegbop, BixKriegbop. And then I'm also on TikTok at BixBop.
Okay.
I do love the Ramones reference there. Now, I will never be upset about a Ramones reference like that. Much love. How about you, Adam? Where can people find you?
Easiest way to find me is I'm a Dungeons and Dragons streamer with the Dungeon Run. So you can check them out. They're on Twitch, they're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all over the place. Just the Dungeon Run.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Nerd. I'm totally joking, man. I'm totally joking.
What a mean boy.
Yeah, I know. Now listen, Ken waits for no one, Adam. Okay, so
He's taking notes.
no, that's awesome, man. What about you, Jose? Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, just Mr. Jose Prendes, because I think there was another Jose Prendes, so I had to put the Mr. in front to differentiate. That's really my only social media. Technically I'm on Facebook as my YouTube alter ego, but I barely check it. But my YouTube channel is Master Chaos, and every once in a while I'm on there. But luckily, gratefully, I'm busy making movies, and I don't necessarily need to rely on YouTube revenue to get me get my kids clothes and fed. I can make movies, and I'm so grateful to the universe that this is a possibility, and I get to work with amazing people like this. It really means the world to me. And again, last thing I want to say about the film, I did make this for horror fans because I am one, and I grew up with this shit, and I love it. I'm surrounded in this stuff. I mean, I've got a Glendale over there, I want horror fans to give it a shot. I know maybe the name might turn you off, like, oh, it's a rip-off, it's a mockbuster, but it really isn't. And I want people to at least give it a shot, because I think they'll be hopefully pleasantly surprised. If not, they'll get an incredible masterclass of young actors.
Yes. And I love how you explain that too. You know what I mean? Like, you're made for horror fans because you are one. Love that. What about you, Theo? Where can people find you?
Yeah, you could find me on Instagram at, there we go. It's going to be reverse, but Theo _ Rosenfeld, ROSENFELD. And then if you want to see my Letterboxd reviews, which Kylie keeps giving me shit because I never rate anything like above 3.5 stars.
He is a hater.
That's just Theo Rosenfeld, all one.
Okay.
You can also find him at www.bradwaitsfornoone.com.
I'll check out the net on that.
Yeah. All you gotta do is get that. We need to buy that and just make it transfer right to your letterbox. That would be perfect. So what about you, Shelby? Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram at @itshallberight. I don't really post on YouTube. I think my YouTube is the same, and I believe my letterbox is shelves. I think. So, if you want to see my really shitty, like, 2-word reviews, go for it.
No, thanks. Oh, well, I won't be watching that movie. Okay, cool. Thanks, Shelby. What about you, Kylie? Where can everybody find you?
I will put it in the chat, but I'm Haunted Hippie Horror on Instagram. I think just at Haunted Hippie on Letterboxd. And Haunted Hippie on YouTube. A lot of your people are my people. So
Right. A lot of interchangeable people here. And how about you, Scott?
My Instagram is at Scotty Maz, SCOTTYMAZZZ. And there I post occasionally my own original sketches, and those are usually linked in my bio, and that just goes right to my own personal YouTube where I post those too.
Okay, awesome. So watch that back, guys, and check that. If you're not following already, you should have had a pen and paper. Or every single person that just said their stuff, I fully expect each and every person in our chat to be following. I hope you were like this in the chat.
You just made the list.
So I hope that every one of you is ready.
All right, so it looks like we have one last question for Jose.
What's next after Morgan?
Well, funny you should ask. The reason I have to, if you guys are going to continue past the hour mark, the reason I have to dip off is because I'm making a movie starting Tuesday. I'm doing a religious horror film. Right now it's titled Evil Nun, but it'll change because that just kind of always happens in post. But we're making a evil nun horror film set in the Mexican desert. We got an amazing location.
Nice.
Another incredible cast that I haven't met completely yet, but I love what they've brought to the table so far, and we're going Mario Bava, Lucio Fulci style with this one, because I like to vary things up whenever possible. This was very much Killer Doll is very much a '90s horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
This one will be a 70s, early 80s Italian horror feel.
Nice.
And hopefully we can get away with a lot more blood since they liked how messy this got. Oh, by the way, I should mention this movie is also going to potentially, it's potential, be on Lifetime for Halloween. We're doing a Lifetime cut.
Nice.
And I think it's probably going to get retitled, but I don't know yet. But there will be life for this movie later in the year. Hopefully.
Bring Candace Cameron on and kill her off, please.
Well, I mean, we can't add characters, but maybe if there's there is talk of a sequel, but where that sequel lies is still very much up in the air. We'll see.
Right. Well, and like I said, we know that, Jose, you got to be out of here. And actually tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern, an hour from now, Ashley's going to be doing her horror movie part 3 tier ranking, where she's ranking horror movie part 3s live on the channel, guys. So if you're in the chat, make sure you're coming and joining us for that. Ashley's going to tier rank everything from Friday the 13th 3 to Child's Play 3 to The Exorcist 3. So make sure you're joining us for that. I, again, want to thank every single one of you for coming out and spending the time with us. And I love how Jose is going to be doing a Giallo film, and he's been in Giallo lighting this whole time. It worked perfect. He was foreshadowing this whole time. So, guys, please don't go anywhere. As always, we got a couple more questions for you. Everyone else, like I said, don't forget 1 hour. Ashley will be doing her video here on the channel live, so make sure you join us for that. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.